Now I will discuss about the Rutherford experiment. Rutherford experiment regarding about the structure of atom. In 1911, the scientist Rutherford performed a number of experiments. And these experiments are called scattering experiment, Rutherford scattering experiment. And these experiments are called Rutherford scattering experiment. Rutherford scattering experiment. In this experiment, Rutherford bombarded a gold foil with alpha particles. So we can write in this experiment, a gold foil is bombarded with the alpha particles. That is your He2+. Like proton, we know that proton is written as H+. Why proton is written as H+? In hydrogen, one electron, one proton is present. In H+, what will happen? There is a loss of this one electron. As a result, your electron is your 0, proton is your 1. That means, if you think about the proton, that means only one proton. That one proton is indicated by H+. Like that, alpha particle is also indicated by He2+. In this experiment, what will happen? Now, I will explain with you a diagrammatically manner. Rutherford taken gold foil, and this gold foil is bombarded by alpha particles. This is the main concept of this experiment. Suppose take a gold foil. This is your suppose one gold foil. This is your one gold foil. When we strike the alpha particles with the gold foil, suppose this is your gold foil situated on the whiteboard like this. That means there is a sphere present like this. And the gold foil and the alpha particle passing like this. Suppose think that in a three-dimensional concept. Suppose the gold foil is present here like this. This plate is like this, and just like the duster, this is the round gold foil, and the alpha particle is passing through like this. When he want to observe the experiment, then what will the points he will got? He found. First is your most of the alpha particles. Most of alpha particles means 99% of the total alpha particles. What amount of alpha particles he will strike? Aroundly 90% of that alpha particles pass through the gold foil. That means they cross this position and away this position. That means they cross the alpha particle like this. 99% of alpha particle cross the gold foil. That means you can draw the diagram like this. It is the position, then this is the opposite position. This is the front position and this is the back position. Suppose this gold, the alpha particle goes like this and enter the gold foil in this position and away the gold foil. 99% of the alphabetical cross the gold file. He observed that 99% most of the alphabetical cross the gold file. And very few alphabetical get deflected, get bending, and a very less angle, that is below 90 degree. That means when they come in contact with the gold file in this position, then they deflected at an angle of below 90 degree. Like this. And very few alphabetical they deflected more than 90 degree angle. This is then more than 90 degree angle. More than 90 degree angle. What happens? Most of the alphabetical pass the gold file, and few of the alphabetical get deflected less than 90 degree, and very few alphabeticals get deflected more than 90 degree. He got 3 observation points. From the observation, he concluded that the particle who passes through the gold foil, the particles who passes the gold foil across the gold foil means there is no other particles present in the gold foil. Suppose this is the alpha particle, goes towards the gold foil and cross the gold foil. That means in this position there is no other particles present. As a result, he will easily pass through that means there is a hole, empty space, he will easily cross the gold foil. Since most of the alphabetical cross the gold foil, that means he will got the conclusion that most of the part of the atom is empty. So from the observation he concluded that first conclusion is your word. Since most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil, so most of the part of the atom are empty. Most of the part of the atom is empty. Clear? Since few alpha particles get deflected. Get deflected means they are in all directions. Look at that. This is also deflected. This is your deflected. This is also deflected. This is also deflected. This is making an angle of that is 0 degree. It means go and return like this. Passing like this and also return in this path. Same path. Go straight, then return like this. That means the ray are deflected in all directions. We know that the charge of alpha particle is positive. When the ray strikes the alpha particles and get deflected, means you think that there is a solid substance is present here. As a result, the alpha particles the presence of the solid particles, as a result, the alpha particle do not cross the solid particles. Suppose this is your solid particle present, here there is no particle present. In the gold pile, that means alpha particle easily pass through this particle and go back the back side. But here is solid substance is present. That means if when it will strike, then it will unable to cross the gold pile. That means it will be divided like this or like this or like this. But it can make an angle, cannot make an angle 180 degree. 180 degree means like this. This is your starting alpha particle and the ending alpha particle. An angle is your 180 degree. Since the alpha particle is deflected in all directions, so he concluded that there is a heavy massive substance is present. As a result, the alpha particle cannot cross the substance and get deflected. There will be a question arises in your mind. Why they are deflected? Why there is a repulsion? Why there is no attraction? Since the alpha particle is your positive, these particles carry what? Positive charge. That is your He2 plus. These alpha particles carry positive charge. When it come in contact with a heavy substance, massive substance, it get deflected. That means it go and strike and get deflected. From this it is concluded that it have also positive charge. If it have negative charge, listen, if it have negative charge, then there is an attraction, there is no deflection possible. Since it is your positive, the ray having positive charge, that means the massive substance have also positive charge. As a result, they are repelled to each other and they get deflected. That means from the third and fourth, from the second and third observation, he concluded that there is a massive positive charge substance is present. That is your called, in future it is called nucleus. That means we can write the conclusion number point 2. Conclusion point number 2 is your since few alpha particles get deflected in all directions, so he concluded that there is a heavy, massive, compact, positive charged region or your particles. Positive charge region is present. As a result, they get deflected. This is your Rutherford experiment. From this experiment, he arranged some points and give a postulates. So, what are the postulates of Rutherford atomic models? Next, I will discuss about the postulates of Rutherford atomic model. Postulates of Rutherford's atomic model. From the experiment of Rutherford experiment, we got some points. According to the Rutherford's atomic model, let me discuss about the point. This is your spherical shape atom. Yes or no? Suppose think that this is your gold pile and also it look like the shape of the atoms. It is the spherical. Look at the shape of atom. This is your spherical, and from this shape it is concluded that it is two parts. This is your one part, that is your secondary heavy positive charge mass. In this region, the alpha particles get deflected. There is no chance of crossing this region of the alpha particle from one side to other side. That means this is your heavy positive charge portion, and this is your empty space around the heavy positive charge. So according to the Rutherford, the first point is your the atom. The atom has two parts. The atom has two parts. This is your one part, and the surrounding part is this is the other part. That means this is the second part. This is your first part, and this is your second part. That means the atoms have two parts. One is your sources. According to me, sources are the one is your nuclear part. Nuclear part, it is also called nucleus. Nucleus, and second is your what? Extra nuclear part. Extra nuclear part. Then tell me what is nuclear part and what is extra nuclear part. Listen me, the whole amount, the whole mass, entire mass of the atom, since there is no particles present in this part, this is your empty part. Remember about the Rutherford experiment. In this part, the ray passing through the gold foil from one side to another side. That means there is no particles present here. This is your slightly empty. Yes or no? Since this part is your empty, that means you think that there is no mass, and the whole mass depends upon this part. The whole mass of the atom depends upon this part. That means we can think that the entire mass of the atom and the total positive charge of the atom is concentrated at the center in a small region, that is called nucleus. Here there is no positive charge, that means there is no repulsion, there is no diffraction in this position, and there is a empty. That means we can think that whole positive charge concentrated on this position, and whole mass is also concentrated on this position. So we can write the entire mass and total positive charge concentrated at the center, in a small region, that is your called nucleus. That is your what? Called nucleus. That means this part is your considered as what? Nucleus. Let me explain the diagram clearly. Suppose this is your atom and this is the nucleus, that is your positive charge, that is your nucleus, this is your nucleus part. Let me discuss about the third point. The empty space, am I correct? The empty space around the nucleus is called what? Extra nuclear part. There are two parts. This is your nuclear part and the remaining other empty part is said to be extra nuclear part. In extra nuclear part, tell me, here protons are present, that is your positive charge. Then in extra nuclear part, what are the particles are present? That is your electron. So we can write the third point of Rutherford postulate is your what? The empty space around the nucleus is called extra nuclear part. Then what happens in extra nuclear part? The electrons are present, in which the electrons are distributed. Why the electrons are distributed around the nucleus? We know that the opposite each other. That means it requires the neutrality. So electrons are present at the external nuclear part, which is surrounded to the positive nucleus. As a result, positive negative cancel to each other, and the atom will be neutral. So we can write in which the electrons are distributed to maintain electrical neutrality. Electrical neutrality means neutral. Let me discuss about the fourth point. If you think about the dimension of the atom, dimension of atom means this is your dimension of atom, area of the atom, and it is the very small of the dimension of the nucleus. If you compare the dimension of the nucleus with the nucleus of the atom, then it is very small. So you can write the dimension of the nucleus is very small as compared with the dimension of the atom. Tell me, who is responsible for the positive charge of the nucleus? Proton responsible for the positive charge of the nucleus, because proton is present in the. So we can write the fourth point: the presence of positive charge proton accounts, or that is responsible accounts the positive charge of the nucleus. If you think about the electrons are not stationary. Stationary means they are not in constant. They are always in motion, like the planet and the sun. That means the electrons are not stationary. They are always revolving around the nucleus, or you can revolve like this or like this around the nucleus in stationary. The electrons are not stationary. The electrons are revolves around the nucleus like the planet revolves around the sun. So we can write the next point. The electrons are not stationary, and they revolve around the nucleus like planets revolve around your sun. Next is your word. The electrostatic force of attraction and the centrifugal force balance to each other. The electrostatic force of attraction and centrifugal force balance to each other to maintain the stability of the atom. Suppose an electron revolves. Suppose an electron present here revolves around the nucleus. That means it needs a force. That is your centrifugal force. For revolution, it needs centrifugal force. Yes or no? If it revolves around the nucleus, then what will happen? The centrifugal force goes on increases as a result. The electron away the nucleus. If the centrifugal force more and more, then it away the nucleus. But that is do not happen. So the nucleus exerts a force to the electron. to attract the electrons towards itself. That is your said to be electrostatic force. That is your said to be electrostatic force. Remember, there are two forces acting on the electron. One is your electrostatic force of attraction from the nucleus to electron, and another is your centrifugal force which acts on the electron, which helps to rotate the electron around the nucleus. If the centrifugal force goes on increases, then what will happen? It will away the nucleus. If the electrostatic force of attraction is more, then the electron come in contact with the nucleus, and a time will come when the electron strike the nucleus. That means the amount of electrostatic force is balanced with the centrifugal force. Otherwise, there is an destruction possible and the atom will be unstable. If centrifugal force is more, then the electron away from the nucleus. If electrostatic force of the attraction is more, then the electron come to the nucleus, closer to the nucleus. So we can write the next point. The electrostatic force of attraction, and centrifugal force balance each other to maintain the stability of orbit. As a result, maintain the stability of the atom. Orbit means the path in which electrons rotates. Then what are the limitations? These are the postulates of Rutherford atomic model. Then let me discuss about the limitation of Rutherford atomic model. What are the limitations of Rutherford atomic model? Let me discuss. According to Clerk-Maxwell limitation, do you know Clerk-Maxwell? According to Clerk-Maxwell, what happens? According to Clerk-Maxwell, what happens? He suggested that when a charged particle, suppose a charged particle, this is your charged particle. According to Clerk-Maxwell, when a charged particle rotates around the opposite charged particles, then what will happen? There is a loss of energy of the charged particles. According to Clerk-Maxwell, when a charged particle, suppose it is your negative, it is your positive, or it is your positive, or it is your negative. When a charged particles rotate around the opposite charged particles, then what will happen? The charged particle, this particle loses energy. If it rotates continuously, then the energy of the particle loses continuously. Remember, according to Rutherford, electrons are not stationary, they revolve around the nucleus. Here, electron having negative charge, it revolves around the positive charge. That means they are opposite to each other. That means the electron always loses the energy. If electron always rotate the nucleus, then electron always loses the energy. As a result, what will happen? The electron come into contact with the nucleus. A time must come. The electron loses its energy and it gets more attracted towards the nucleus. As a result, a time will come. The electron must fall on the nucleus and it bombarded with the nucleus. And the atom will unstable. That means we can draw the diagram like this. Suppose this is your nucleus. The electron is present here and it revolves around the nucleus like it have a fixed energy, then it always rotate in same position in the same orbit like this. But Clerk Maxwell suggests that the electron, according to Clerk Maxwell, the electron must possess the energy. That means from this position it starts. Suppose it starts from this position, that is the electron position. It rotates like this, like this, like this. Then what will happen? It will come in contact, come nearer, 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 nearer to the nucleus. At time when it happens, it will collide the nucleus. As a result, the atom is unstable. If you think about the Clerk Maxwell, then there is a limitation of the Rutherford atomic model. That is, it cannot explain the stability of the atom. So we can write the first limitation is your limitation. First limitation of Rutherford atomic model is what? It is unable to explain the stability of atom. In Bohr's atomic model, Bohr explain the spectral line, but it is unable to explain the spectral line. It is unable to explain the spectral line. It do not explain about the arrangement of the electron in the nucleus, around the nucleus and the energy level. That means it cannot explain about the arrangement of electron around the nucleus and in energy level, which is clearly explained by the Rutherford, clearly explained about the Bohr's atomic model. That is all about your Rutherford experiment, Rutherford postulate, atomic model